Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Today, we are going to be reviewing Deranged Haunt in Romulus, Michigan, like the Alien movie. This is pretty much a haunted trail, and you go through like buildings and stuff like that, but it is a haunted trail. This was actually an add-on, because if you haven't been watching, we also have, we did Eloise Asylum, we did Hush, and then we had planned on doing Erebus, but when we finished Hush, we actually had like a, because we did the latest time slot for Erebus, we did 11:30, and we're like, well, that's because we didn't want to, like, cut ourselves short in time. But then we had, like, a 3-hour gap. And we're like, well, I guess let's find another one. There's a few others. There's also one called Azure, which I'd like to maybe do in the future. But we chose this one, Deranged Haunt. Like I said, it was a trail, and it was a beautiful weekend. So, yeah. That being said, we very much hope you enjoyed this episode of Haunt Talk. But yes, so pulling in, you instantly feel this one's a little bit more of a different vibe. It feels a little like, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it feels a little bit more backyard haunt than some of the others. And part of that's because of its trail. And part of that was because like people seemed a little bit nicer here at you, I will say. Mm-hmm. Like walking in, even like the person, like so many, I don't know why, I feel like, I always get like little tangents. I think it's like part of the rule books. Like if you're in TSA, you have to be kind of mean. I feel like if you're someone that helps someone park, you have to be kind of mean and just aggressive. Be like, here, and you're just doing this, like this all the time. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'll be there in a second. It's okay. You're fine. They were like actually nice here. And they were like, oh, what you bringing in today and all this stuff. And there was like a long line because we had fast passes for this. And like the guy came up and was like, oh, don't wait in this, stand here and someone will come get you. And it just felt very nice. Yeah. Like, and how nice, like, everyone was. I guess we'll just go ahead and get right into the review, which as always means we must refer to the Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Book of the Dead! Alright, so as always, we're going to start with sets and props. And we'll see it was nice doing a trail. This is probably I think this is the only trail we've done this year. I mean, one that's, like, basically just a trail. Yeah. Right Farm, I guess, is kind of a trail, but it's a mixture of other things, but this is, just a trail. And yes, there are buildings throughout it, but it is mostly a trail outside. And what a beautiful night for it. I mentioned earlier, like, it was this really nice weekend, so we got kind of lucky. One of the things I really liked is just the vibe of it, because it felt like one of those really good yard haunts you go to. Yeah. Kind of very like, and again, if you're watching this and you're from Michigan, I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but we go to a place, well, they're not doing it this year, but called the Haunted Yard of Parma. Yes. And this reminded me a lot of that. Very much. And that's not really a bad thing, because the Haunted Yard of Parma is really good. This is a little bit more than that, a little bit longer. Yeah. But, yeah. Like they had a little bit more budget. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I feel like it really did feel like a home haunt that wanted to be pro and is like slowly growing to become that.
Yeah, exactly. So like the first section you go through, like the facade actually that you wait in front of is like the Starcourt Mall from Stranger Things. Which is kind of funny because it is like a mall, but it's just grass, right? Because it's just a building and like there's no real ceiling or anything. But they did have like a cool like little mini mall fountain, which I thought was a nice detail. You can tell it was handmade. Which I also like that kind of charm about these type of places that are kind of like this like in between of like kind of a home haunt, kind of a pro haunt type of thing. Mm-hmm. And again, this place definitely, I'm not dogging on it. It definitely leads more towards the pro haunt, but I like it when it's not just a animatronic and like a wall you see at every other haunt or something. And they just kind of slapped it together. They actually like built this stuff. Yeah. Which I like, even though it might not be as like ornately detailed, it has a certain character to it and a certain vibe, which I like. There's like this whole like toxic waste section. We went to 400 houses this night. It's hard to recap everything. I mean, someone actually asked, we do take notes like basically as soon as we're done with each place, because if we don't, I don't know. Forget it. It's hard to recall a lot of this stuff. Yeah. There was a pretty cemetery scene back there. I do remember that.
Yes. I remember that because when we were walking into it, there was a guy in there in costume. I think he had like a skull mask or something like that. And the fog machine had literally just filled the place up with fog.
Oh, yeah.
And he kept saying, yes, breathe it in. Deep breaths.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I can feel it. Yeah, and I just thought that was kind of funny because he's just like, yeah, breathe it in.
There was a camp. There was like a campground scene, and there was a actual camper you walked through.
Yeah.
I think it was a camper they made though. I think it was a real camper. I think they just made like a camper facade, is what it seemed
I think
like.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a little carnival area.
Yeah, you even like at one point actually like walked into like a skee ball type of game.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was kind of
neat.
fun. There was like a wharf kind of area. There was a guy that was like in fishing gear and stuff, and he was up like kind of above us a little bit, like we were in the water kind of thing.
Yeah, there was like a dock that was up above and like the fishing house. It switched through themes fairly quickly.
Yeah.
There was a grandma's house. So it was pretty much a traditional like house type of theme there. Mm-hmm. And then our favorite section was towards the end. It was just as I put it in the notes, the Halloween section. So it's like you walked through like a jack-o'-lantern patch that led into like a church. And then after that, it was like a little like farmland kind of thing with like a barn and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Really cool like blow molds and things in here that I wanted to take home. Like I really was like, do you think they mind if I just walked through the haunt with their really cool blow mold that was over there? Because I wanted to take it home. It was so cute.
They definitely had a couple blow molds that were really cool in there.
They also had so if you like old like antique kind of like gas station stuff, one of the things they had hanging on one of the barns was a gas station light that goes on top of like the
it was like
pumps.
a bridge kind of thing that you walked through.
Yeah. But it was a big old jack-o'-lantern on it. I'm like, where did they get that? That's so cool.
It was kind of like the thing that I think kind of led you into this area.
Yeah. It was really neat. I'm like, that's unique. I've never seen that before.
But yeah, sets and props overall, we really did like it. Again, backwoodsy kind of, handmade type of feeling. But like I said, I thought that it had a certain charm to it. So yeah, we gave sets and props an 8.
Yeah. So that moves us on to actors. There wasn't a lot, but when there was, they were pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty good. They were putting a lot of effort in, running around and like hiding in different spaces because a couple of them got to witness hide and scare other people. Not all of them were super, super interactive, but there were some that decently were. Like Grandma had a whole spiel she was saying to us.
She dusted me.
The weird guy that was like, I don't know, it was like I just put him down as Ice Cream Mario dude because he ran up and he goes, "It's a me," and that I don't even know he started talking gibberish or something.
Yeah,
Italian accent gibberish.
Yeah, no, he was literally saying Italian words. Because when he ran past me, he said mozzarella.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that it's a me, but I heard mozzarella, and I was just like,
yeah, he's just like saying random Italian things and gibberish.
Just random Italian things.
As Kevin mentioned earlier, the guy in the docks is really cool because he was like running up and down the docks, like falling. There was a guy that was under the docks that I believe grabbed the people in front of us' ankles. And then he ran and hid somewhere else and scared us.
Yeah.
Someone grabbed Kim's ankle under a table. I think it was inside the trailer, I think.
It was in the trailer, yeah. We went in there and...
Because I just heard you scream. I didn't know there was anybody under there.
I didn't think there was anybody in there because I was like, oh, this is weird. And then all of a sudden something grabbed me. I'm like, oh, what? Where did that come from?
So they do light touching here. I said I didn't really get grabbed much at all. I think maybe my ankle got grabbed maybe once. I don't remember for sure. But again, nothing like, like Chippewa Blood Prison where they're like manhandling you, but they will like touch you or maybe rush, rub your head or something like that. One thing that I really liked, there was this guy that had like those little like, I don't even know what they're called, like those little white things you throw and they go poof, like a little, little crackers.
I always called them bang snaps, but I know that's not what they're called. But
those things though, he actually had in his hand, he would throw them against the wall, and that actually, I'm surprised that no other haunts have ever done that because that's like a pretty easy thing. Well, for outside haunts.
It scared us. I thought it was like a little like cap gun or something like that. But no, it was just little bang snaps that he was throwing at walls.
She could smell them too.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite scares was at the end, the barn. So there's like the barn doors, but then just one part of like the triangle part of like the barn door would open up, and that's where the scare actor would come out.
Yeah, that was really cool. And he was just he had like a pumpkin head on and stuff like that. It was really cool scare. It got really good with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like he might have I think he might have reached out and grabbed me or something. I think he did, yeah. But yeah, overall, we thought actors did a pretty good job. Like I said, there were definitely some spots where you just kind of walked around and nothing happened, but the ones that were there were giving it a really good effort. And costuming, I will say, also kind of had more of that background. A lot of backyard, hunt.
Yeah.
A lot of masks and stuff like that. Nothing real elaborate, but again, at the end of the day, if they're being aggressive and being entertaining, that's the most important part. Because some of them had decent makeup, but there was a lot of masks, and I feel like that's pretty common with trails, just because with the weather and stuff.
Yeah, because you never can tell. Yeah.
Right, but yeah, like I said, actors, we gave them a 7.5.
So that moves us on to scare factor. We actually had quite a few decent scares, but there weren't a huge amount, because they were kind of we kept catching up to people and stuff like that,
which is really surprising, because they were leaving huge gaps.
Yeah, they were. That's the thing that boggled my mind, was all of a sudden we were catching up to people, and they literally were leaving
See, it felt like about 3 minutes.
3 minutes between, and it was how? What are we doing?
Yeah, because we were going slow, but then these people, they just kept dead stopping, and then it made a conga line behind us, and it's happened at every single haunt this weekend. But this place did the best at separating.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter here. This one would be a good one, I think, to take younger kids to. This would be probably a decent first haunt in the area. I mean, again, it's still scary, and it's going to be still entertaining as adults, obviously. But because of the fact that it's a trail, because of the fact that it does feel a little bit more homey of a haunt, I think that it won't be too overbearing for kids. But again, still decent jump scares, and the fact that they are able to lightly touch you. They do have an 18-year-old plus night. So I don't know what that is. I'm assuming they're just a lot more rough with you instead of just light touching. They do grab you and spin you around and that kind of stuff. But I think that's the last night of the season. And Eloise had that too.
I did notice that they had there were some people with glow necklaces, so I believe they do a no boo kind of necklace as well here. Because I did see quite a few people in line with.
Yeah, I saw that as well, and I wasn't sure if they just came from Eloise or if they did that here. So yeah, they probably do.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like I said, we thought it was decently scary. Nothing crazy, but yeah, we gave scare factor a 6.
All right, so that brings us to value. So general admission was $26, plus fees if you ordered on your tickets online. They did have a ticket booth, so you probably could just buy them there. And they had this really weird thing with their fast passes. So they had 3 tiers for their fast passes. They had the first tier, which was $36. And once that sold out, then the second tier opened. That one was $39. And then once that sold out, the third tier was $42. So it was really weird, because we got the second tier.
Yes, we ended up paying $39, so $13 more. I mean, it's kind of a smart system, I guess, because it forces people to
get their tickets fast.
Sooner for fast pass, right? So that way it's the sooner you get your fast pass, the cheaper they are. And it also makes sense, because that means it's the busier night they are, so it's de-incentivizing people to do fast pass, the more fast pass tickets that are selling. Because I will say, even though the line here wasn't crazy long, they spaced out a lot.
Yes.
So our line for fast pass took 20 minutes, where I would say it was at least an hour for the normal.
Yeah.
Plus just the line to get in the ticket booth, because even if you buy online, you have to go check in. It was 23 minutes long, so decent length.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's some nights that might be as low as 20. Yeah, for general, I mean, I think the 26 is very fair for this, especially if you go, I don't know what nights are 20. I was trying to look, but since it's so late in the season, the calendar only lets me look at so much. But I think that especially if you can go for 20, that's good. And this is one of the cheapest ones in the area as well at 26.
Yeah.
So I think I think it's worth going to. I thought it was quite a bit of fun. But yeah, for value, we gave it a 7.5.
So that brings us to our overall score, which we gave a 7.75.
yeah, like I said, overall, if you're in the area, I do recommend this one. I think it was a lot of fun, especially if you're looking for one that you can take the family to that's not going to be, you know, as crazy. Because again, like the environment of something like Eloise Asylum might be a lot for kids, although we did get more scares by actors in this one, surprisingly. You know, just the environment was a lot more fun feeling.
Yeah.
And just like kind of old school Halloween, which again, sometimes that's kind of like what you're looking for. I like both. I love the super professional, like crazy outlandishly done haunted houses, but I also like the one that's like more of like a haunted family working together just to make what they can. Like both are very charming in their own way. But yes, have you been there? What did you think about it? Make sure you're liking, make sure you're subscribing, and make sure you're ringing that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. We do have our final video for the Michigan trip coming up, which will be for Erebus. And we also, of course, have our, you know, Haunt of the Year rewards and our favorite video that we make every year, the Halloween Yard Haunts Displays video, which we will be filming that. So when you see this, you know, I think we probably already have the list built for the most part, but if there's any yard haunts you want us to go to that are around like Cleveland-ish area, let us know in the comments. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next.
Bye.